Have you ever felt a type of tired that's, well, it's just deeper than sleep? It's that bone-deep weariness where you could sleep for 10 hours, wake up, and still feel like you've just run a marathon you don't remember signing up for. It's not the satisfying ache of a good workout or a long day of physical labor. No, no. This is different. It's an exhaustion of the soul, a kind of permanent low-grade static running in the background of your entire life. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on that feeling. We're going to dive into what it is, why it's there, and why you are absolutely not alone in feeling it. So, let's just get right to the heart of it. That exhaustion you feel, it's because your body thinks it's been in a nonstop life or death struggle for years, maybe even decades. Think of your mind like a computer. You've got your main programs running, work, family, hobbies, but in the background, there's this one massive energy-hogging program that's been running since you booted up this morning and every morning. It's a survival program. Its only job is to scan for threats and keep you alive. The problem is, it's treating an email from your boss with the same 5-alarm fire intensity as a saber-toothed tiger jumping out of the bushes. It's a high-stakes, high-energy program that has completely forgotten how to turn itself off. And here's the wild part. We've all gotten so used to it, we don't even see it anymore. We've normalized a state of constant, low-grade panic. You feel that frantic energy, that tightness in your chest. And what do you call it? Oh, it's just a busy week at work. Or you internalize it, you make it part of your identity. Haha, yeah, I'm just a high-strung person, that's my personality. My favorite is just calling it Tuesday, right? We've made a biological state of emergency feel as normal as any other day of the week. But what's really going on under the hood is that a critical piece of your biological machinery, your nervous system, is stuck. It's jammed in the on position, and the engine is just redlining, day in and day out. Now, this next point is probably the most important thing you're going to hear today, so I want you to really let it sink in. You are not broken. Your system isn't faulty, it's not malfunctioning. In fact, it has performed its job perfectly. Your nervous system did exactly what it was designed to do. It adapted to the environment you put it in. It saw chronic stress, constant deadlines, and endless notifications, and it said, okay, I guess this is the new normal. Time to adapt to survive. The problem isn't the adaptation itself, it's that this incredible survival mechanism has now become the source of the problem. You've become too good at being stressed. You're over-adapted. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does this actually work in the body? Well, let me introduce you to the main character in this story, a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is amazing. It's your body's built-in alarm system and get-up-and-go juice. When a real threat appears, cortisol floods your system, sharpens your focus, and gives you the energy to fight or flee. It's a biological masterpiece for a 20-minute crisis. But what happens when that 20-minute crisis stretches into a 20-year lifestyle? That's when this brilliant survival tool, our hero, starts to look a lot more like a villain. It begins to betray us. And this is where things get really weird, and you might recognize this feeling. When your body gets used to the constant buzz of cortisol and adrenaline, that state of high alert becomes your new normal. It becomes your baseline. So what happens when you finally get a moment of actual peace? You finish a big project, you're on vacation, it's a quiet Sunday morning. Does it feel like relief? Heck no. It feels weird. It feels uncomfortable, even suspicious. You think, what am I forgetting? Something's wrong. Actual safety and calm start to feel intensely boring. Peace feels like a trap. Your system has gotten so used to the chemical cocktail of chaos that relaxation feels like you're doing something wrong. So what does this over-adapted, high-alert life actually look like? How does it show up in your day-to-day existence? Well, the symptoms are sneaky. They're masters of disguise, often masquerading as just you. As your personality quirks, your habits, the things you just think are part of who you are. Before we get to the symptoms, you need to understand the biology behind them. It's something called the sensitization effect, and it is the ultimate biological trap. Now, logically, you'd think that being exposed to stress all the time would make you tougher, right? It would give you a thicker skin, make you more resilient. Well, surprise, biology does the exact opposite. Chronic stress actually makes your nervous system more sensitive. It lowers your threshold for what you perceive as a threat. Over time, this makes you less, not more resilient. And that's why things that you used to be able to handle, a little traffic, a spilled coffee, a critical comment, now trigger a full-blown life or death survival response. Your alarm system has become hypersensitive. This table breaks it down perfectly. Let's look at these so-called personality quirks. You ever feel that flash of pure white-hot rage when someone interrupts you while you're trying to focus? You think, wow, I must be a terrible, irritable person. No, that's not your personality, it's your physiology.
It's a biological reality that your system is already running at 99% capacity. Or how about this one? It's a Saturday. You have absolutely nothing to do, and you find yourself rushing around the house, creating tasks, unable to just sit still. That's not you being proactive. That's your nervous system screaming that stillness feels physically dangerous. In constant multitasking, we wear it like a badge of honor, right? But often, it's not about productivity. It's a desperate attempt to dissociate, to distract ourselves from the crushing weight of our own exhaustion.
Let's just sit with that 99% number for a moment because it's everything. Imagine your entire capacity for handling stress as a glass of water. For most of us, it's filled right up to the tippy top, 99% full. The water is literally quivering at the brim. Now, what happens when someone comes along and adds just one more drop, one more email, one more question from your kid, one more quick favor? That one tiny, innocent drop causes the entire glass to overflow. That's why minor interruptions feel catastrophic. It's not the drop itself, it's the state of the glass. You have no bandwidth, no wiggle room, no buffer left. There is simply no more room. Now, where is all this pressure coming from? Of course, it's from everywhere, but we have to talk about one of the biggest contributors, the modern workplace. It often operates on a shared, unspoken agreement that we can call the corporate hallucination, the collective delusion that humans can operate like machines indefinitely without consequence. I absolutely love this quote because it's so brutally honest. Think about it. Yes, your skills, your experience, that's what gets you in the door. But what keeps you in the room? What gets you promoted? It's your ability to not freak out. Your real unwritten job description is to absorb stress, to handle chaos, to translate your own internal panic into a calm, polite email that starts with, "Hope you're well." Your ability to maintain composure while everything is on fire has become the single most valuable and most draining currency in the modern economy. This completely reframes how we should think about burnout. We tend to think of it like physical exhaustion. But physical work has an end. You can finish building the wall. You can finish running the race. Burnout is different. It's a neurological problem. It comes from the infinite work, the work that happens between your ears. I'm talking about the micro worry, rehearsing a tough conversation 100 times, ruminating over a mistake you made last week, agonizing over how to phrase an email. This work produces no tangible result, but it drains your neurological battery faster than anything. It creates a massive backlog in your system, a traffic jam of unprocessed stress that leads to that feeling of being completely and utterly spent. All right, so you recognize yourself in all of this, and you decide you want to get better, you want to heal. You start meditating or going to therapy or setting boundaries, and this is where things get really, really tricky. Because the path to healing, the road to actually getting better, is one of the most counterintuitive journeys you will ever take. We can call it the paradox of improvement. And this leads us to the big, frustrating, and oh so common question. Why is it that when you start to do the work to heal, you often feel worse? It feels like you're going backward. You have a good week, and then suddenly you're hit with a wave of anxiety that feels more intense than ever before. This is the exact point where most people give up. They think, see, it's not working, I'm broken. They mistake crucial signs of progress for signs of failure. Let's break down what's really happening. These so-called setbacks are actually powerful biological signs of deep repair. First, you're hit with bone-crushing exhaustion. Why? Because adrenaline and cortisol are like biological credit cards. They let you borrow energy from your future self. For years, you've been running on debt. When you start to heal, your body finally feels safe enough to stop swiping the card. And guess what? The bill comes due. That exhaustion is your body beginning the monumental task of repairing years of accumulated stress debt. Second, old symptoms come back with a vengeance. That old anxiety or panic you thought you'd gotten over, it's not a regression. It's a sign that your system is finally strong enough to process the emotions you had to suppress just to survive back then. And third, you develop a hyper-awareness of every little sensation in your body. It feels alarming, but it's the first necessary step to actually reconnecting with your body's signals after years of tuning them out. This is such a critical reframe for anyone on this path. We have this idea that healing means we'll arrive at some magical destination of perfect calm, a silent, blissful state. That's a fantasy. A healthy, living nervous system is not a flat line. It has ups and downs. The goal isn't to eliminate the noise entirely. The goal is to turn the volume down. Progress is not silence. It's a quieter room. It's going from a screaming, deafening rock concert in your head to a manageable background hum. That's the win. So, where do we go from here? What's the actual path forward? It all starts with one fundamental understanding.
You cannot think your way out of a state that your body has physically adapted into. Your logical brain is not in the driver's seat on this one. To heal, you have to stop speaking your language and start speaking your body's native tongue. Let that one just land for a second. Your nervous system, that ancient, powerful part of you that's running the survival show, does not speak your native language. It doesn't understand your brilliant logical arguments, your positive affirmations, or your detailed analysis of your childhood trauma. It speaks a much older, much more primal language. It speaks the language of sensation, the language of felt safety. It only understands what it can physically feel right here, right now.
This shows the difference perfectly. Cognitive insight. That's your smart, logical prefrontal cortex. It's fantastic at understanding the past. It can create a beautiful PowerPoint presentation explaining why you're anxious. But felt safety happens in the body. It's not an explanation. It's an experience. It's tangible proof in the present moment that you are not in danger. Your brain might understand you're safe, but until your body feels it, the alarm bells will keep ringing. You have to show your body it's safe, not just tell it.
So what it all boils down to is this. Your body's alarm system needs evidence. It needs cold, hard, physical proof that the threat is gone. Think of it like a loyal but very anxious security guard. You can't just call them on the phone and say, "Hey, everything's cool, stand down." They need to see with their own eyes that the perimeter is secure. Your body is the same. It demands proof over and over and over again, not just a one-time verbal explanation.
So how in the world do you provide that proof? It's not through grand, sweeping gestures. It's through tiny, consistent, physical, micro-interruptions. These actions are deceptively simple, but biologically profound. Let's look at them. Sitting in your parked car for 2 minutes before rushing inside, that proves to your body that you are not being chased. Intentionally slowing your exhale for just 60 seconds. That directly tells your vagus nerve, the superhighway of your nervous system, to switch from panic to calm. Feeling the physical weight of your body in your chair, that yanks your attention out of a worrisome future and into the safety of the present moment. Humming a low tune, the vibration in your chest is a primal form of self-soothing. Splashing cold water on your face, that triggers the mammalian dive reflex, a powerful built-in reset switch for your nervous system. Each one of these is a vote, a tiny physical piece of evidence you submit to your body that says, "See, we are safe. The emergency is over." When you really look at it, you've been fighting a war for a long, long time. But for many of us, that war is over. The threats we adapted to are gone. The battle is now an internal one. It's not about fighting anymore. It's about convincing your own loyal, hardworking biology that it's finally safe to come home from the battlefield. So the question I want to leave you with is not, can you heal? The real question is, starting today, right now, what is one small, physical thing you will do to prove it to your body?